Hi there, I'm Christine with What's Up Cupcake Whimsical Crafts, and welcome to my channel. I have a few updates I wanted to share in this video today, besides my yarn haul and final Joann's shopping trip. But essentially, I just had a busy week of kind of shop updates and upkeep. Being in between markets right now and having this little break, I have been able to just be a little bit more creative. I wanted to kind of clean things up since I have a little bit of a slowdown in just feeling like a little bit more restful and not as rushed as I have been over the last two market seasons of, a crazy fall, winter, and then spring. So I made some more amigurumi sticks. I had quite a stockpile of focal beads that I had been building up in my collection so that I could make some. So I really sat down and made them, and generally, like, making them is really fun. I like the creativity of working with all the different beads, but it is a bit of like accumulating the different beads to work with. Because you could buy onesie twosie pieces of beads or some bulk assortments, but I like to kind of lean into a theme in terms of colors, have some different shaped beads or fun different color combinations. So I was finally able to make use of the things that I had been building up to do that. And then once I make them, I do glue the primary beads in place. I keep a little stopper at the end just so you don't stab yourself with it lying around. But overall, the beads that are on the top of my amigurumi sticks are glued down, and that just takes a minute. You got to wait for it to dry and everything. So I kind of make like a production line of that.
I don't wanna call you later. You're tearing my heart up like it's paper, and somehow you turn to a stranger. We used to work, now I'm trying to make sure that we're both on the same page. I don't want it to complicate. I know you're riding away. Is there room for us both on the same way? Nothing breaks so clearly when there's love on the line. My best friend told me someone that I don't even like. There's nothing left to fix if you don't want me to try. Oh, why would I when you were barely even mine? Oh, why would I should have known from the start that you were a waste of an open bar top, wiping my feet on the doormat. There's so much of you that I just can't leave. Yeah, nothing breaks so clearly when there's love on the line. My best friend told me someone that I don't even like. There's nothing left to fix if you don't want me to try. Oh, why
I also went camping for Mother's Day. I mentioned this in one of my last videos, but I do every Mother's Day go to the campgrounds that are near my home. I am very lucky to live in a very wooded area, and I have a travel trailer. We started with a smaller trailer, like a 14-foot, which if you know about travel trailers, that's pretty small. We by no means have like a fancy, big, huge RV. We kind of dipped our toe into the water of campers right when the pandemic happened. It was already on our mind. We are big campers. We are 15 minutes from some amazing state parks in North Carolina, like lakefront spots, woods with tons of trails. We just have a lot of options for that. And then we also do like to take longer trips cross country or wherever. Like if we can, we try to do one big trip a year, this year kind of being the exception for numerous reasons. But every year I go with a bunch of girlfriends and we go camping at the nearby lake by us. And this year was no exception. So we started with a 14-foot camper, and my friend actually purchased it from us because she wanted to get into campers, and we were ready to upgrade to the next size because when we had that camper, our children were very young and we just saw ourselves starting to outgrow it. So my friend purchased that camper from us and she joined me for the camping trip. And then we have our somewhat newer camper. I think we've had it for like a year and a half now, 2 years. I can't remember. No, it must be 2 years because we brought it on a trip to across the country. We're in North Carolina. We went to Yellowstone, Grand Tetons, and we stopped by a bunch of other parks along the way, but those were like our ultimate destinations, Badlands, stuff like that. And then last year we went to Acadia in Maine. So yeah, so I guess we've had this camper for a couple of years and it was just really nice to get out, and I brought a bunch of yarn. The weather was perfect. It was originally forecasted to be a bunch of rain, but it held off one extra day, which was all we needed, and got time with friends and got to just kind of hang out by a fire pit, play games, crochet. It was really nice. So just the one friend came and camped this time. Again, a bunch of different factors, but a couple friends came by in and out throughout the weekend. So I'll be sharing that footage as well.
There's often wars fought in my head, waged by the fears I left for dead. I can't escape this state of mind. You don't seem to lose much sleep at night, thinking about me and what I've left behind. I'm not on your mind like you're on mine. Look up, honey, and meet my gaze. I've been here before and I plan to stay. I'll wait on you till time gets the best of us. And if I lose my mind, that's more to gain. The lonesome, we all bleed the same. You're haunted by the fools you'll never love. Look at the ghost that I've become. Everyone's got a story they're dying to tell, a song that they know all too well, but I can't find that piece of my soul. I can tell you're drowning just like me, I can hear your cry seep from the sea, but I can't save a hand that I can't hold, or a part of your heart you've already sold. Look up, honey, and meet my gaze. Been here before and I plan to stay. I'll wait on you till time gets the best of us. And if I lose my mind, that's more to gain. The lonesome, we all bleed the same. You're haunted by the fools you'll never love.
I did not plan on doing a final Joann's haul. I had kind of given up on the situation. I am not like immediately close to any Joann's. They're both at least 30 minutes away from me, which isn't that bad, but it's just not in a direction that I'm usually going in my day-to-day life. So I was just going to skip it, but I blame Crochet Crafts by Jana because she shared that she went in for one final haul and everything was 50% off or more. And just seeing all of the footage of how much yarn is just left on the shelves right now, I figured I'd go check it out. So I ended up getting some things, clearly. Let's go through it together. Oh, hi. This is gonna be a problem. So let's go through this. So I usually only get Bernat blanket from Joann's and nothing else. Like I haven't purchased their other yarn brands, but I figured at half price plus I would give some of them a try, especially because I may not be able to get them again depending on what Hirschner's carries in stock. But let's go through what I picked up. A lot of this was really just kind of basics from the Bernat blanket assortment that I collected. Black, white, red, stuff like that. They didn't have a ton of variety when it came to it, but again, it was such a good price and I know that I will use these colors in the future, even though I don't use Bernat blanket as much as I used to since discovering Elise Velluto and just leaning into that and Premier Parfait more. I also have a lot of variations in more like specialty colors of Bernat, but not as much of my basics. The camera might shake because my dog is cleaning her paw. Una, can we talk about this? I know, I'm sorry. This is ruining your moment. All right, so let's get into what I got. So I will have a seat again. I got this Bernat blanket, variegated. This one is weathered wood. I've purchased this one before. I think I've used it for like chickens and maybe some kind of winter-ish items. I don't know. I can't recall, but I know I'm pretty sure I don't have any of it right now, so I figured I'd get a skein of it. I did get Big Twist finally. Big Twist plush, and I just got black. It feels exactly like Bernat, so no surprise there. But again, I did just need some basic colors, and that's what they had available. They had so much gray, and I do use quite a bit of gray. So this one is, oh, it's two. It's Big Twist gray. This is just like a lighter, obviously, but in my light right now, it looks very similar. This one's like got more brown in it. This is pale gray, and this is Big Twist plush, light gray. All right. More of that Bernat gray. This is Big Twist plush cardamom. Cardamom. And Big Twist plush electric blue. I thought it would be a good color for, I don't know, an ocean creature or something. And then I got this dappled. I don't use these Bernat rounds. I don't know what else to call it, cake, as much. But I have been using them for flowers because I do like the way it comes together when you're making a project with it like that. So I figured, again, I'd get it because the price was right and I could make use of it. Good old-fashioned plain white. We'll do that in a second, just because we're on a roll. I got some light blue, the bubbly blue from Bernat Blanket Baby. More Big Twist Black. More Bernat White. And we're approaching the end of all of this Bernat. This is Crimson Bernat Blanket. This is Orange Leaf. I use this like crazy, especially in the fall for foxes and Highland cows. So they had a ton of the gray, white, and orange. Bernat Blanket Bright. This one is Royal Blue. I don't know that I've ever picked this one up before. And again, I wasn't quite sure what I'd make with it, but I'm sure I'll come up with something. And finally, Celestial Blue. So that is the blanket yarn haul. I then got some just smaller skeins of just regular old acrylic yarn. I'm going to use these for, I'm doing like book cover or book sleeves, Kindle sleeves, and I like the idea of the variegated just as it whips up, as well as some like coffee cozy sleeves. So this is Karen Simply Soft Speckle, and I've got 3 of these because I love the colorway of it. I think it's so pretty, and these were regular price, $5.49. So yeah, I really leaned into this one. So 3 of that colorway. I got 2 of the Lion brand Mandala, same purpose. I'm going to use it for those sleeves. And I got, this was the last one of this variation, which is Chimera. And Centaur, they had a ton of these. I got Bernat Pipsqueaks, just a couple of them. I've never used Bernat Pipsqueaks, but I'm been dabbling in furry yarns or fluffy yarn, so I thought I'd try it. And then wrapping up the yarn, just some more Karen Simply Soft. This one is Times Square. Feels like a weird color for Times Square, but unless the sleeve got mixed up, but I kind of doubt it. This one is Wisteria, and this is Blue Gingham. So that's it for the yarn haul from Joann's. I did get a few other things for the business. I got these 2 little, or I got 2 of these little sign boards. This kind of exactly matches the larger board I have at my booth. And I thought I might use this to either list pricing or to put like follow me on Instagram and put my little QR code on there or something like that. I don't know. But thought it could be a cute way to just tie in branding for my booth. I got some vinyl sheets. Not vinyl, felt. Because I've been using felt quite a bit recently, and these are thick enough. These 2 black sheets are actually adhesive. I've just been using felt a little bit more in some of my plushies. And I got some more Aida fabric for a cloth. I used to cross stitch a lot, and I would also use this to reinforce my safety eyes. I don't do that anymore because I've just do other things now, but I do have some projects coming up that I would like some more of this. And then finally, I got some bells, possibly to add on to some holiday items, or maybe like the silly goose that I've been making. I don't right now put bells on it, but I know the girl who knots does, and I think it turns out really cute. So I might do that to kind of hone in on that silly goose point. And then finally, I just got some embroidery floss. They didn't have like anything too exciting, but it's colors I know I'll use. So that was my Joann yarn haul. Last time in Joann, it was sad to be in there, honestly. Just I spent so much time in there all like throughout my life. My mom made our costumes for Halloween when we were kids, and so we would always go wander the aisles with her in Joann's and would watch her flip through the pattern books. Then when I was in college, I was the person wandering through the fabric aisles and flipping through pattern books. I have so many sewing patterns, it's ridiculous. And I still have quite a bit of fabric, but I just don't sew like I used to since having my kids. And I did briefly with my first, but then I don't know, couldn't get back into it like I had before. Before I was making my own clothes and costumes and things like that. I made the kids' costumes for a while. I do have whatsupcupcakeblog.com, and if you want to dive back into the archives of when my children were wee little babes, I made their Halloween costumes for a few years, which was pretty fun because we got to go in on like full-on family costumes. And then I got to do things that I just would not have been able to find, especially here in the States. I did the Gruffalo, if you know that story. So my eldest was the Gruffalo and my youngest was the mouse. That was probably my favorite pattern that I've made, aside from the fact that my mom put me in a Ninja Turtle costume when I was a kid that she made. And I just wanted the Ninja Turtle costume you would get at the drugstore that had like the plastic face mask. I just wanted a cheap Ninja Turtle costume. And she made the most elaborate Ninja Turtle costume where my face was inside the mouth of the Ninja Turtle. If I can find a picture of it, I'll put it on the screen. At the time, I was horrified, humiliated, so embarrassed. As an adult, I was like, that was the funniest thing ever. I love it. So I made that for my kids a few years ago when they were smaller and didn't care about costumes, and I was able to convince them that this was the most genius idea ever. But then I also made myself one as an adult. And then my husband was Shredder. If you know the Ninja Turtles, you know who these are. But it was hilarious. So anyways, that was like a complete, I digress. I spent a lot of time in Joann's. And just as I was wandering through, I mean, they were filling up the shelves and moving things from other sections so that they could close down aisles. You know, I heard some of the staff talking about like, okay, once we move all this, then we can close off that whole section. And literally a section that I walked in to first, where all the yarn was, by the time I was leaving, they had like caution, do not enter tape on it. I wasn't there that long, like maybe 20 minutes. So yeah, it was, according to the signs in the windows, the final 10 days. This was the Joann's in Cary, North Carolina, in case you're in the area or familiar with it. There's one more in Raleigh, and I'm like equidistant from both of them. I just don't want to drive over and find out that it's closed already because, again, it's just not on my way to anything that I would normally go to. And honestly, I don't need anything else. Like, I have so much yarn here. A lot of this will come in handy like very much immediately. I actually have a trip planned for work, and I was trying to think of what I was going to bring on the plane, because normally I bring a lot of like Premier Parfait maybe, and some smaller patterns, because then I don't need as much stuffing. And in that case, I just have like a giant bag of yarn that I'm bringing with me. And this is a work trip, so I'm going to be busy the entire time. When I do have some downtime, I probably won't be making a lot of little plushies, so I thought that it could be good to make something that didn't require stuffing. So I could do some of these Kindle sleeves, book sleeves, coffee, cozy things. Yeah, so I will bring some of this with me on my trip, and I have some other projects that I'm going to work on. But again, the colors that I got of Bernat will be perfect for just regular rotation of plushies that I'm making, especially as I'm doing my market prep for the fall. All right, I do have one more yarn haul. I am really like, I'm not quite on a yarn buying ban, but I'm only replenishing now as I need it if I'm going through things. So I recently replenished my Elise Voluto because there were some colors that I had to have for some of the big projects I had coming up. So I really went through my list of things that for Elise Voluto, because it's a bit harder to get. I have to order it from Turkey. I order it from Hobby Shobby. There's a link in my description to get to all my favorite links, patterns, and supplies in general. So feel free to check that out if you want to check out Hobby Shobby. They are the most consistently affordable place that I found for Elise Voluto. And what I did, because again, it's such an ordeal to like order from Turkey, even though it comes faster than a lot of my domestic yarn at this point, I created a like laminated sheet and I just update the quantities I have of each yarn when I'm going through using them. And then I can just go through that and see like, okay, I'm out of this one, that one, whichever, especially if it's a color that like I know is part of my rotation. So I had just ordered Elise Voluto and done that. And again, with a couple projects that I had, I was just missing a few colors. And I realized that when I was going to market. So I haven't actually looked in this yet, but I just got my order. Premier is located in the same state as me, so it comes just a bit faster. Like they ship and the next day I get a note saying that it will be delivered. Like same, basically next day. I got this Premier Pixie Dust Brights. I don't know if you can tell, but it has a glitter to it. And this is for a project that I will be working on that I'm not ready to reveal yet. It looks a little bit thicker than I thought it was going to be, but I think it'll be fine. So I got a couple of skeins of that. I picked up some more emerald, I think this one is. Yes, emerald. Got 2 skeins of emerald because I realized I was completely out. And again, I use that one for a bit more stuff when I'm doing holiday prep, which I am currently in the thick of, like getting ready for fall markets. Premier Anti-Pilling Worsted. I have this in like rainbow colors because I made rainbow baby loveys and blankets with it, but I did not have any neutral colors. So I got some of the neutral colors for those Kindle sleeves and coffee sleeves. Here's some more. These actually I did have, but I ran out. So I was replenishing these 3, but I did not have the black, gray, or tan. And then finally, this was again, just more variegated kind of colors. This one's Sunday Brunch. I just thought it was really pretty. This is the Painterly collection. This one is boho. And then in here, I have more boho. This is all boho. And this is again for those sleeves. Fireside. Thought that'd be nice for the fall. And then I got some hipster cotton just to check it out. It seemed cute in the colorways that it came in. And if I don't use it for the sleeves, I do have some other projects I could use it for. I actually have made a few items of clothing crocheted, not this year, but last year I made a few things, some sweaters and like swim cover-ups, things like that. I feel like last year especially, crochet swim cover-ups were having a moment, and I got one that I loved, but they're generally kind of pricey and harder to find, and I was like, I can make that. So I made one. I'll drop the link with a picture of the pattern. I don't have a picture of myself in it. I probably do somewhere, but I'm not looking for that. But just to share it, it was a really simple pattern, and I love how it came out. And I used it all last summer. I used it when we went to Hawaii. Like, it's just a great pattern and very easy, especially if you haven't made clothing before. It was basically a bunch of panels sewn together. But that's my yarn haul. So again, much more than I had anticipated, but I blame Crochet Crafts by Jana for influencing me to go to Joann's. I'm not mad at her, but my wallet might be, my bank account. But yeah, I mean, all of this that I got was under 150 bucks. Like, it was a really great price. And again, it's basics. I know I will use them, and some of them I will be using very much immediately. But aside from that, I have been working on my Me Made May. If I'm not crocheting plushies, I've been making amigurumi sticks, safety eyes, stitch markers. I've been busy making a lot of things. And in addition to that, I cleaned up my online store situation a little bit. So at the moment, I know I just launched my store. I launched a Shopify, and I brought my Etsy back to life. I used Etsy in the fall and listed just a few plushies to see how they do on there, and they sold pretty much instantly. So that was great. But beyond that, because I've been playing catch up with the plushies that I'm making, I haven't been listing things consistently on there. So with this little break, I finally went in, and on my Etsy, I listed some plushies. I do have some amigurumi sticks and stitch markers on there, but I also had some on my Shopify because that's what I wanted to lean into. Shopify just doesn't have the dedicated like traffic that it drives to sites. People have to know you, and generally you might know me from YouTube, maybe from Instagram, but I don't have like a huge following on the latter. And I have been getting orders on Shopify, which I appreciate every single one of them, and they have been wonderful. And I will share a couple of order packing videos as well, and thank yous to those people. But I do know that Etsy just brings in a little bit more in terms of customer base, but I was having to do two different sets of pricing between the two because I would prefer people to shop directly through Shopify than from Etsy. Etsy just has a ton of fees that are built into it, and I had like some glitch on my Etsy that was like it just defaulted to free shipping, which is just a bigger cost on me. I'm fine to offer free shipping with like a buy a certain amount, but to have it for every order, it was like in some cases I wouldn't be making any money whatsoever. I'd be giving stuff away completely free because shipping could be so much money. So I was trying to lean into Shopify, but it honestly was just getting confusing having the two different locations. I've been digging into it a little bit more, and it sounds like I can actually tie the two together. So what I'm doing is I am moving everything over to my Etsy, and I believe from there I will have it feed into my Shopify as well. So that being said, all of my amigurumi sticks, my stitch markers, they're all on Etsy. Maybe by the time of publishing this video, I will move my safety eyes over, but right now safety eyes are the only thing in my Shopify. But I'm going to have everything over in Etsy, and once that is done, I will hopefully integrate it all to be in Shopify so that it can like speak between the two. I have one set of inventory. I can do specific coupon codes and things for Shopify to make the pricing a better offer than what Etsy does have. But I'm just trying to like kind of have a clean slate. And that being said, buying on Etsy, you are by no means getting a bad deal. I'm just trying to balance out the cost of all the fees that Etsy built into everything. I did figure out the shipping issue too now, so that is finally resolved. I swear it wasn't user error for a long time. I think it was glitchy originally when I set up my account years ago, but now it seems to be resolved. It's fine. So yes, if you are going to my Shopify account and you see that either there's nothing in there or there's just safety eyes, go check out my Etsy. I have a whole bunch of stuff on there. I'm moving everything over to there, and then I will hopefully integrate it so it is seamless. But I apologize. Pardon the dust, as they say in construction signs. But I am like leaning into it. I painted a whole bunch of safety eyes, but I have had people ask for a safety eye tutorial as to how I do them. I do them with UV resin. So I went ahead and filmed a bunch of that process and broke it down. So that will be a future video coming soon once I just have time to edit it. But yeah, beyond all that, I have just had a really busy couple of weeks. I actually am going to be traveling for work for the next week. So probably when this video comes out, I will actually be traveling. I'm trying to get ahead in life right now and just having things actually scheduled, because I keep saying I'm going to do 2 videos one week, 1 video the next, and just do a like 3 video every 2 week rotation. And it has not happened, primarily because I want to focus on quality, not quantity. But with that being, I want to make sure I have content to actually film. So, and like content people might be interested in, I hope. But that being said, like I just have not been able to kind of get ahead of it, or things just get so busy with kid stuff and work stuff, and then trying to still be cranking out crochet products or safety eyes or whatever, everything. And to sit down and like film something, or to remember to turn on my camera for something that might be interesting, or to edit it, because the editing, that's something that like I just did not realize was so time consuming when I dipped my toe into this YouTube space. Editing is not my favorite. I am beginning to appreciate it a little bit more. I'm not gonna lie, I originally was editing from my phone, so that was a big problem and part of the reason I hated it. Now I'm doing it through my computer, so that makes it a little bit more bearable. But it is just still like also watching yourself talk and realizing like words you say all the time, or mannerisms, or the amount of like breaks you take in when you're talking, and ums and having like brain fart moments. That's just uncomfortable for me personally. And editing just makes me like look at it straight in the face, and I don't like it. So it's fine. I'm getting used to it. And I'm also hopefully getting better in my videos as a result of it, because I'm much more conscious of some of the things that I'm doing that drive me insane. I did actually crochet this week. I have a separate video of most of the things that I crocheted, and this video should be coming out after that one. So if you know, you know, Lilo and Stitch. But I did also do some other just like catch up, market prep, so on. One thing I had to do was my boss actually, for my day job, had purchased a bunch of items from me in one of my fall markets. It was actually one of my first markets that I ever did, and I was fairly new to making crochet plushies at like the volume that I was doing. And she has a 1-year-old little girl, and she got a plushie otter from me, and her baby girl loved it. However, her dog did too, and her dog got to the otter, and yeah. So she gave it to me to fix. I took a look at it and was like, ooh, it's not really that salvageable. Like I could probably decapitate it and like redo the head to fix the issue with it and then attach it. But I was like, I'm just going to make a new one. No one has time for all that. So I made another little otter. I actually made 2 of them. So one for her, and then I made another one for market prep, because I was like, if I'm going to make them, I might as well batch make them. And I also made them with the embroidered eyes, especially if this, like, I feel like this really draws in parents shopping for babies or people shopping for baby gifts. And I just am not crazy about doing the safety eyes in that instance. I do try to just communicate to people if it is going to be a gift, like safety eyes are not great for under 3 years old. I do take a lot of extra precautions with my plushies that I make with safety eyes. I do put in like extra reinforcements for attaching them. But again, because I was actually making the replenishment to make up for the eaten otter, I was like, well, I might as well just make this one too with safety eyes. And I'm not gonna lie, when I was making these with safety eyes, I was like, this is why or not safety eyes, with embroidered eyes, I was like, this is why I don't do embroidered eyes. I hate it. I took these eyes out so many times because they just never looked right. And then finally, I realize that I am going to be my own worst critic. Part of the issue, I think, is when I don't do the whites of the eyes is when it looks weird to me. So I put in the whites, I did the eyelashes, and I'm much happier with it. So I will probably do a small collection of items that will be like baby safe, that will have hand stitched eyes for my fall markets, just again, because I do like to have that option. I just wasn't doing it as much after my like crazy fall rush of markets and like replenishment. So yes, Little Otters made some other things. Again, if you watch my last video of Lilo and Stitch plushies, you will see the majority of my time went into those because those were all fairly large projects. But I'm very excited now to do some other projects and get some more plushies done for my market prep and finally like make my way through my little checklist of all the things I want to make. So just a few, little things going on this week to share. And aside from that, I started a new book, Bright Sword, or The Bright Sword by Lev Grossman. If you're into fantasy, it's like a King Arthur storyline of like beyond King Arthur's life. I don't know. I have mixed feelings about it, but it's entertaining. It's very long, so I've been listening to that during my commute to work and when I am crocheting and not watching videos of other makers on YouTube. Well, I hope that this was a somewhat interesting update today. If you enjoyed it, please feel free to like and subscribe. I would love to have you here again. Feel free to drop a note below of what you were working on while you made this, or if you were just 100% dedicated and focused on my face. I hope you weren't, but more power to you if you were. And I hope to see you again next time. Thanks so much for joining. Bye.